Banner up right now. Hello, everyone. We're going to have everybody put your question in the chat. Hey, I'm Darby.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is Brooke. She's got it. And this is called You've Got Questions, We've Got Answers. We're going live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So if you've got questions, we want to hear them. And we are going to go live for just about an hour. And Brooke, if you just want to, I don't see any questions coming in yet on Facebook, so we'll wait just a minute as things kind of warm up here.
Yeah. Okay, so we are so excited to be here. Darby's in Arizona. I'm up in the mountains, but we want to answer your questions. If you have been debating about signing up for Pathway Connect, you still have time. You still have about a week to do that. So there's only a couple of places where we've reached our enrollment cap. And so just as long as we still have space, we're going to let folks in. So please continue to go to BYU-Pathway.edu. In the upper right-hand corner, there's going to be a button that says apply for free. And that's where you can go to start your application. It's going to take you to the admissions page. You'll be able to learn a little bit more, see what's best for you. And then you can click that apply now button to get your Pathway Connect 101 application started. If you are interested in coming back, there's still time for that as well. So maybe you did 101, you're ready for 102 or 103. Please come back. We want to be able to help you.
So, all right, Brooke, the first question is just when does the next semester start?
Yep, January 8th is the first day of classes. So it's coming up, but you still have time to get started. So classes start every January, April, and September. So January 8th is when the next semester starts.
Perfect. All right, the next question says, hey, I have a friend who missed the deadline. Would they still be able to apply and get in for the second block, or do they need to wait until the next semester, Brooke?
Okay, so if your friend is looking to do Pathway Connect, they actually still have time. So they can go to BYU-Pathway.edu in the upper right-hand corner, click that apply for free button. You're going to go to the admissions page, and that's where you can start your application. So he or she still has time to start Pathway Connect 101 in January. So go ahead and do that. And then if you're interested in doing 102, that will start mid-February, and then the option to do 101 or 103 will start again in April.
Awesome. So if you're just joining us, again, I'm Darby, and this is Brooke. This is called You've Got Questions, We've Got Answers. Brooke and I are both spending a little time with family over the Christmas holiday. So I'm in Arizona in the United States with my family, and Brooke is up in the mountains with her family, spending a little time. So, but we're happy to be here answering questions. So put them in the chat. I'm giving Brooke a lot of questions here from Instagram for a minute, and then we'll jump over to the Facebook questions. So Brooke, what do you suggest about being successful as an online student? That's the question we have.
Yeah, that is a great question. I would say one of the things to be successful as an online student is if you're in Pathway Connect, really take advantage of the gatherings and making those connection points with members of your gathering group, because they can be your friends throughout the entire process. And what's so cool about Pathway Connect is that you are in small groups of less than 30 students, and you have service missionaries that are assigned to help you. One thing that I have found, so I'm going to school right now as well, is I have some dedicated time every day where I just know and go, okay, this is my school time, and my family knows that. And I just say, hey, this is what I can give. Sister Ashton actually has told a really great story. So she actually went to medical school. And while she was in medical school, she found herself studying all the time and giving everything to it. And she felt like her life was a little out of balance. And so she prayed about it and said, okay, Heavenly Father, this is what I feel like I can give and still, really dedicate myself to my studies, but have a more well-rounded experience. And so she did that. And by involving Heavenly Father in her studies, she said that she felt like she was just as successful and she was getting comparable grades, but studying significantly less because she involved the Spirit, she involved Heavenly Father, and she had dedicated hours to her studies. So that would be one suggestion, is just really diving in, making friends in your gathering group, and then figuring out what time of day is best for you and how much you feel like you can give to studying.
Awesome. Okay. So all of you who are just joining us, Brooke and I are going to try to answer all these questions in the order they come in. Now, bear in mind that we're in the marketing department, so we don't know the answer to all the technical questions, and we can't change everything in the way the BYU Pathway works. But we're going to try to point you in the right direction. We're going to try to give you the resources that we know about and that we have as we answer these questions. So we will try our very best here, and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes for all of the questions to get answered. So just give us just a minute as we work through these. We have a quick shout out ready for my first semester with BYU Idaho. We're excited for that.
That is awesome.
It's awesome. So I have an associate's degree. Does this mean I need to join an advanced program book? How would you answer that question?
Yeah. So you have options. So because you have an associate's degree already, you could choose to do the advanced path option and go directly to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online. That's absolutely an option. That is $139 US a credit. And that's standard across the world. And so one thing I would suggest is looking at how long ago was it that you were in school? What is your online learning experience? And what's sort of your financial standpoint? So when you start with Pathway Connect, it's just 28 weeks. It's actually going to be 21 weeks here starting next semester. Everyone is going to be doing Pathway Connect 103 on the block. So Pathway Connect 101, 102, and 103 are going to be just 7 weeks each. And so it's real fast to get into that next semester with BYU Idaho or Ensign College online. And so it's a great start, and it's all the price is prorated based on where you live. So here in the United States, it's just $81 US a credit, which is awesome. And that price stays with you when you go on to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online. So if finances is a concern, or if it's been a while since you've been in school, I would suggest you start with Pathway Connect. It's a great experience and an opportunity for you to really learn and dive into online learning. And then
awesome.
Darby put up the website for tuition. So if you're not sure what it costs in your home country, you can go to byupathway.edu/tuition to see the price in your area.
Awesome. Okay, everyone who's joining us, we're getting to all these questions. We had a whole bunch come in from Instagram, so they're kind of queued up. I'm going to do a couple from Facebook. We have just a shout out from Belize. And then we have a question about what is Pathway Connect in the process of getting the bachelor's degree, Brooke?
Great question. So Pathway Connect is a great start for folks who maybe haven't done online learning before. Maybe it's been a long time. It's your first time attending a U.S. university. Pathway Connect is split into 3 terms. And they're 7 weeks each. And in the first 7 weeks, you're doing life skills. So it's time managing, it's budgeting. It's really setting you up to be successful. And then semester or term 2, Pathway Connect 102 is all about professional skills. So it's setting up a LinkedIn profile, it's resume building, it's really getting you prepared for the job market. And then Pathway Connect 103 is university skills. And you're also taking your first university course during this time point. So on your way to your first certificate. So it's really designed to help you have a solid foundation in online learning and U.S. education, and to set you up with lifelong friends from your gathering, so that you really have a cohort, you've got a group that you can rely on throughout your time. So it's a great experience.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to keep going here. Hey, I enrolled last year for BYU Pathway, but I had to stop enrollment. How can I continue again? I think that's kind of what we're being asked there.
Yes, we would love for you to come back. So you're going to go to returningstudent.byupathway.org, and that's where you're going to go to get back into BYU Pathway Worldwide. We would love for you to come back. You can pick up right where you left off. So if you finished 101, you can pick up in 102. And the 102 term is going to start in the middle of February. And so you won't start right in January with others that are doing 101 or 103, but you will be able to pick up right where you left off. And so again, you're going to go to BYU-Pathway.edu. You can either click on that apply for free button, go to the admissions page and click apply now and say that you're a returning student, or you can go to returningstudent.byupathway.org and you'll be able to log in to your student account and get started again.
And let me pull that up real quick, Brooke. Sorry, I was reading another question. Now I can't find my returning student URL. Okay, well, that's okay. Let me see if it's in a different spot.
Yeah. So it's just returningstudent.byupathway.org. There you go.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Here's our next question. In the process of doing the endorsement to start, okay. The process of doing the endorsement, going to show the start endorsement on our student profile, or should we link the BYU student profile with the university? If yes, what should I do if I've already done my interview with my religious leader and the endorsement is signed and ready to be emailed to the provided email? Brooke, do you know when that's kind of a different process, what the order of operations is?
I'm not sure. So if you want to send us a direct message, we can find out for you, but I don't want to steer you the wrong way. So if you could send us a direct message and we'll do our best to get you an answer. We want to make sure that you're ready to start and have everything that you need. So if you'll just send us a direct message on Facebook, if you're on our profile, there should be a little button that says message, and you'll be able to send that over. And then we've got a team of folks that know how to handle some of the more technical questions.
Awesome. Okay, this next question has 3 parts to it, Brooke. This is from Kaylee. She's talking about her husband having some problems enrolling and kind of, so there's going to be 3 sections I'm going to show here. So, hey, my husband has been trying for a month and a half to get enrolled to find out what classes he needs to finish his degree. After multiple counseling appointments, we're no closer to where we need to be. Sorry, that got cut off. He has been told that he must also enroll in BYU, Idaho, but enrollment is closed, so he has to wait till spring. We need to know what classes he needs to take because some of them he wants to take locally, and we don't know what classes he should take. So there's kind of a couple of things going on in that question, Brooke. So what are your thoughts or your recommendations based on what's there?
Yeah. So Kaylee, one, I'm sorry that this has been a frustrating experience for you and for your husband. It's tough. We are working through a lot of transfer credits and seeing what folks need. So one, there is on our website, if you go to BYU-Pathway.edu, and if you go to the, I'm just pulling it up real fast because I want to make sure I am telling you the exact right spot to go to. There's an unofficial transfer credit that you can submit information to and sort of get a rough estimate. And then what I would do is start with the classes that you know he needs and what would be most helpful to get started, because we have a lot of people looking to transfer over. And so we want to make sure that we're getting you everything that you need and for them to be successful. So my recommendation would be to go to BYU-Pathway.edu. If you go to the admissions tab, there is a transfer credit page. And on there, you can get an unofficial evaluation to just see sort of where that's at and what classes will likely transfer over based on what he wants to study. And so one, it's typically what we have folks do is get started with classes that they know that they need. And then as they're enrolled, we have a team of advisors that will go through and actually help assess and come up with a grad plan for them. But as you're enrolled, you have access to Grad Planner in order to do that. So one, I would go to that transfer credit website to get an unofficial evaluation, but that will give you a really good estimate of what classes will transfer and then what classes are needed for the degree that he's seeking.
Awesome. And then Brooke, go on.
I was just going to say, if you still have questions, you can send us a direct message and we'll try to point you in the right way. We don't work in that department, so we don't have full answers or full knowledge of how long things are taking right now. But we would recommend that you go to the transfer credit place webpage, and then send us a direct message if you have other questions, and we'll do our best to get it over to the right folks.
Awesome. Hey, and if you're just joining us, I'm Darby and this is Brooke. This is called You've Got Questions, We've Got Answers, where I read questions and Brooke gives answers. It's great for me. hard for her, but
It's
she
a lot.
happens to know a lot about BYU-Pathway, and if we don't know the answer, we'll try to point you in the right direction.
Mhm.
And we're just excited to be here. We'll be here for like another, I don't know, 40-ish minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this next one up. So we just have a shout out from Debbie, just says, this is the best decision I've made. And then she has a follow-up question. How can I take a class over?
Yep. So if you're not pleased with the grade that you got, or you you really enjoyed it and want to take it again, you can work with your advisor, but it should just be an option for you when you're going to register that you can pick that class again.
Love it. Okay, so we just have a shout out. I love BYU-Pathway worldwide. I look forward to seeing all my new students for the new semester. I love that, Dave. Thank you.
Love it. Dave, are you one of our online instructors?
I think I talked over you, Brooke. Why don't you say that again?
What do you teach if you are? Oh, Dave, are you an online instructor? If you are, tell us what you teach. Or if you're a grader, I'd love it.
Yeah, it'll be so good. Okay, keep putting the questions in. I'm going to keep floating down. Hopefully if we don't answer a question and you think we might be able to give you some more insight, give us a follow-up. I'm putting all the questions into the chat. And so if you have a follow-up comment or question, we will try our best to try to, if you can tell us a little bit more, try to help you to get to the right place. Okay. So my question is, how can I have a hold on my account. I have 2 holds. One for a Pell Grant that I don't plan on using, and a scholarship hold, which I don't plan on using. I plan to pay cash, I think is what this said, or pay like in full.
Okay.
So Brooke, do you know much about financial holds?
I don't know a lot about financial holds, but what I do know is that your peer mentor should be able to help connect you to the folks to get the holds off your account. So if you are currently enrolled and you know who your peer mentor is, awesome. You can go ahead and reach out to them, and they'll be able to help walk you through that. If you're not sure who your peer mentor is, you can go to BYU-Pathway.edu. In the lower right-hand corner, there is a button that says, need help, have questions, chat with us. You'll need to authenticate or log in, and then you can ask the system, who's my peer mentor? And they will provide, the system will provide their contact information for you to reach out to them.
Awesome. Okay, quick follow-up from Debbie, who said, hey, I'm having a hard time registering. Hey, I just keep getting student record not found.
Okay, Debbie, send us a direct message, and we'll reach out to some folks to see if there's a known issue with returning students. So we'll do our best to get an answer for you. But if you can send us a direct message, that would be great.
Awesome. Okay. We have got just I've recently been called as a senior service missionary in Auckland, New Zealand.
Yay. Thank you for your service. That is awesome.
Okay, and Debbie, let us know if that answer Brooke gave helps point you in the right direction. I see that you're still on Instagram over here. Okay, we're going to continue to go through these questions. We just did the one about a hold. Here's an ecclesiastical endorsement question, Brooke. Do we need to meet with our bishop? So let's talk about when the ecclesiastical endorsement takes place and when that would need to happen, and then how the ecclesiastical endorsement works.
Yep. So during Pathway Connect, there's no ecclesiastical endorsement needed. There's no meetings with bishops or stake presidents. When you go to BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College online, you will need an ecclesiastical endorsement. And so that is where you meet with your bishop or branch president or another local religious leader if you're not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And then following that, you'll meet with your stake president. So that is part of the application process from Pathway Connect into BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College online. And it is to go over the honor code to make sure that you are ready and willing to abide by the principles of the honor code. So that's available in your student portal. But during Pathway Connect, you do not need an ecclesiastical endorsement. During Pathway Connect 103, your service missionaries will walk you through the process of requesting an endorsement. But if you have more questions, let us know.
Awesome. Okay, one quick follow-up, Brooke, and I apologize. I was pulling questions over, so I didn't hear what you fully told Debbie, but she just said contact information. So can you clarify?
Yeah. So if you'll send us a direct message on Instagram, so if you go to our profile, there'll be a little blue button that says message. So if you'll send us a message there, we have a team of folks that can help look into the returning student issue and see what's going on.
Awesome. Okay, next question says, hey, is it possible to have a third party in the US pay for tuition on my behalf? I've heard you answer this one before, Brooke. I think there's like, if somebody mails a check in, that's possible, but I don't know all the details of that.
Yeah, so couple of things. So we have scholarships available for all students. So after you enroll, but before you pay your tuition is when I recommend you do this. So in your in your student portal, there should be a banner ad for the Heber J. Grant tuition discount to go in to apply. And you'll learn a little bit about the life of President Heber J. Grant. You'll answer some questions about your life. And then it's a need-based tuition discount. So you'll receive 10, 25, or 50% off. But thanks to some really generous donors, everyone who goes through the Heber J. Grant tuition discount is going to receive at least 10% off. And so we recommend that you do that. And then it is possible for a third party to pay tuition for someone. So if you have someone that wants to do that for you, they will need to mail in a check with your student ID information in order to do that. So if you have a third party of someone who wants to pay for your Pathway Connect tuition, that is possible. And then you can work with your peer mentor to get the address and all of the instructions. If you have additional questions, you can send us a direct message.
Awesome. So if you're just joining us again, I just keep saying this, put your question in the chat. Brooke and I want to answer these questions. They show up on Facebook and Instagram, and even on YouTube, they'll pull in. So we would love to have you put your question in so we can try to answer that. And then also, if you know somebody who you think this would benefit, they've asked questions, they might be interested in BYU Pathway, you can either tag them in the comment using their Facebook profile name or their Instagram profile name, or you can share it with them. And there's share options on all of the platforms. So go ahead and do that if you know somebody. A couple of quick things. Classes start January 8th. Now, Brooke, what starts on January 8th? Pathway Connect 101 and 102 doesn't start then, does it? Or 103? What starts on January 8th and for degrees?
So January 8th is 101, 103, and then BYU Idaho or Ensign College online. And so it is a great opportunity for folks to get started. And then if you are in if you're in 102, that won't start until February.
Awesome. Okay. So the next question says, after finishing Pathway Connect, what's my deadline to apply for a degree? If I delay a couple of years, do I have to take Pathway Connect again?
No. So you don't have to take Pathway Connect again. So we've had some folks finish in as few as 2 years and as many as 10 or 12 years. So it's really flexible and allows folks to finish at their own pace. Depending on how long you take, you might have to switch grad plans. And so we recommend folks do it at 10 years or less. That's typically when you have to change catalog years, but you don't have to go back and retake Pathway Connect. So if you've taken Pathway Connect and you're ready to go on to BYU Idaho or Ensign College, you don't need to retake it. You will need to wait until mid-February to start your application to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online, but you will be able to do that.
Awesome. Okay. Next is just a little shout out. Miriam just says, thank you. We love doing lives. This is one of our favorite things to do is to just get on and answer questions. We love it when we can do it in person with Brooke and I in the same room, but when we can't, we love answering questions here. So keep giving us your questions. And then just another, I'm really grateful for BYU Pathway Worldwide in my life, which we love to hear. We're also very grateful for it and all the opportunities that it provides. Okay, we're going to go with this question, Brooke. It says, hey, I finished 3 semesters but failed an elective class, which was the family course. Do I need to retake that class in order to transfer to BYU Idaho? So they finished Pathway Connect 101, 102, 103, and that certificate course, it sounds like that was a challenge. Do they have to do all of Pathway Connect again or just the certificate course?
So if you finish Pathway Connect 101, 102, 103 with a B average, a 3.0 or higher, you can go on to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online, and then you'll retake that family course. So you'll do that after you transfer over, so long as you have a 3.0 or higher in Pathway Connect.
Awesome. Okay. And you're welcome. Thank you. And we're glad to keep answering questions. We've got kind of a long one here. So this is just somebody giving some advice. Hey, any advice? I just want to give some advice that if you're taking the curriculum, to stick to it as much as possible. I started at the end of 2020. I'm on my second certificate working towards the marriage, family, and human relations degree. I'm hoping to complete sometime in 2025. Sometimes I find the administrative activities are challenging, but you don't have to do this alone. There's always somebody who, and it cuts it off. I can't see the whole comment. But we are here cheering you on. So hopefully there's always somebody who's kind of doing this also. And that's another reason Brooke and I like to do these lives, is because we have the opportunity to just open up a forum for all of you to chat and help each other. I see comments going on back and forth in Spanish over on Instagram, and there's a lot of dialogue that's happening, and you're able to help each other. Okay, so Brooke, I'm going to give you another one here. Here's about a question about payment. Hey, to access the courses, do I have to pay beforehand?
Yeah. So during Pathway Connect one, you have the entire term to pay. So during Pathway Connect, you can do the Heber J. Grant tuition discount so that you can get a break on your tuition, 10, 25, or 50% off based on needs. And then you're going to have the first Pathway Connect 101 is 7 weeks, 102, 103, they're all 7 weeks. And so you'll have that time frame to pay tuition as you go.
Perfect. Okay. We just had a, hey, thank you, sisters. We saw that one. Okay. So we're going to run on to sisters wondering why Pathway Connect requires the wrath of math. Darn it. No, we feel you. Yeah. It is. But we've had a lot of really good comments about from a lot of different people who said math was not their strong subject when they were in school before. And they feel like that the way that math is done in the Pathway Connect courses is really approachable. Do you have any other thoughts about math, Brooke, that you wanted to share?
Yeah, so part of the reason why we require math is just to get you up to speed and get you ready for it. So as part of the Pathway Connect curriculum, you know, we're focusing on life skills, professional skills, university skills, but there's also some math and English interplay in there so that you're ready for your BYU, Idaho, and Ensign College courses.
I love that. And Elizabeth says, oh no, the rest gives positive feedback. I know. I'm going to have to see if I can go see the question, the rest of the comment in Facebook. I'll have to pull it up manually. So I'll try to get to that in just a minute. But thank you for that. Okay, so let's keep going here, Brooke. Okay, so here's a question. I just finished Pathway Connect 103. When can I ask for my Pathway Connect certificate? So I know that the certificates can take a little while. Now, Pathway Connect certificate is not mailed physically. It's available digitally, and it should be available pretty quickly after you finish the course, right, Brooke?
Yeah, so it should be, I would say if it's not here by the new year, please let us know. But if you go into your student portal and you have a 3.0, a 3.0 or higher, you'll be able to receive that Pathway Connect certificate. Now, you have to have a 3.0 or higher in order to have the certificate available for you for printing and to signify that you've finished with a passing grade. And you should be able to download that PDF. You can share it online. You can print it. And then when you go on to receive a certificate from BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College, those are mailed to you. But it typically takes anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks, depending on what part of the world you live in, to receive a physical copy of your certificate. But a digital copy of the certificate is available shortly thereafter.
Well, we are cruising today, Brooke. So again, we've just hit the halfway point, a little bit past it. But if you have a question, put it in the chat. I want to read it, so Brooke has to answer it. It's like our favorite game. So she knows all the answers, most of them. And so ask us the question that you've been wondering about BYU Pathway. So Brooke, this question says, what's the process of registering for Pathway Connect? So let's talk about, is it still open, and how does one register?
Yeah. So if you are interested in joining Pathway Connect and starting in January, the applications are still open. We're going to let folks in just as long as we haven't reached our enrollment cap. And so we've only reached that in a couple of places. So please go ahead and go to BYU-Pathway.edu. In the upper right-hand corner, there's going to be a button that says apply for free. That's going to take you to the admissions page. And on the admissions page, you can read a little bit more about BYU Pathway Worldwide and what to expect. And then there's going to be a big button that says apply now. You'll click there. And then if you're a new student, you'll select that. If you're a returning student, you'll pick that option. And so you'll start with the preferred path or Pathway Connect option. As a new student, it's going to ask you to log into your church account. You don't need to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in order to enroll in BYU Pathway, but you do need a free church account. And so if you already have one, great, you can log right in. If you need to create one, you can do so in a few minutes. If you can't remember your password, there is an option on that page for forgotten password, and you can sort of walk through that process. And then once you are logged into your church account, you'll fill in some contact information. If English is not your native language, you will take a free English language assessment. And we do this to make sure that you have the English skills necessary to succeed and to have a great experience in Pathway Connect and beyond. So after that, you'll select your gathering information. You'll answer a few questions. And so you'll be able to pick the day and time of your gathering. And then you'll finish out the application. If English is your native language, it shouldn't take more than about 15 minutes to do it. If English is not your native language, it might take up to an hour. But we try to make it as quick as possible for all students. And then shortly thereafter, the application is reviewed by a team. And then you'll receive your offer of admissions. And then we recommend after you've enrolled to go into your student portal and do the Heber J. Grant tuition discount. And that's for all students. So if you are currently enrolled, please make sure that you have gone in and done your Heber J. Grant tuition discount. We don't want you to leave any money on the table.
We don't. All right. And Jessica also had a very similar question. So I'm going to just acknowledge that that was the same answer for Jessica's. Now, Jessica has a follow-up question. And that says, is BYU Pathway pass or fail, or do you get actual grades?
You get actual grades. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. We have a shout out watching from Ghana. We love it. We love to say hi to all of you. Okay. I'm going to give Brooke another question here. Oh, back to Elizabeth for a minute. She said, oh no, here's the rest of my message right here. She says, math courses are good and they have step-by-step on how to do any math. It's a great way to refresh and can be rewatched. Awesome. Yeah, and I took Pathway Connect to understand it better last year. And I agree. Yeah, it's a really great way to kind of get back in that mode of online learning. And I really felt like very supported with my gathering and group to re-tackle some of those concepts that I hadn't taken for a while. So Elizabeth, I love that. And thank you for sharing that. Okay, we're going to continue on here. Thank you, everyone who's joining us. Put your question in the chat. Brooke and I want to answer them. So we have a question about getting a hold of someone with a phone number. They need some more advice and some more thoughts. Brooke, what's awesome. Like the best path here?
So you can go to BYUpathway.org/APPT. And you can book an appointment for yourself to chat with an enrollment counselor. So there's not a phone number to call, but there is a way for you to be able to book an appointment and chat with someone at a time that works well for you. So again, that's BYUpathway.org/APPT.
And of course, I just hit it. There it is again. Okay, so the next question says, what does the acronym BYU stand for? Where does that come from? So it's someone's name. Brooke, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's Brigham Young University. So the church education system has 5 universities, 5 organizations that they partner with for church education. So there's BYU or Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah. There's BYU Idaho in Rexburg, Idaho. BYU Hawaii, which is in Laie, Hawaii. Ensign College, which is based in Salt Lake City, Utah, and BYU-Pathway, which is also based in Salt Lake, but we have students all over the world. So we don't have a physical campus. BYU-Pathway is designed to help people study and receive university degrees in their home country or their home location without having to leave.
I love it. That goes right into our next question. Do you have classes other than those online?
Yeah. So BYU Pathway Worldwide does not. All of our classes are online, and BYU Idaho and Ensign College are online through BYU Pathway. But if you want to go to a campus, that's an option. You'll just want to go to the website of the university you're interested in attending.
Fabulous. We have a shout out. Hey, I'm watching here from Mozambique. Great job. Thank you. This is really one of our favorite things to do together. Brooke and I love to sit and answer questions. And it really lets us know kind of like where people might be struggling or where they're really having a lot of great success. And we share that with our colleagues all the time when we say, hey, we're seeing this or we're seeing that. So tell us your questions. We want to try to answer those. We want to try to help figure out solutions for people. All right, we have a question that says, hey, I finished Pathway Connect and then now I'm enrolled in BYU Idaho. Then I dropped out. How do I continue? So they finished Pathway Connect. They want to continue back into BYU Idaho after having to stop.
Awesome. So you will be able to re-enroll. So the next point for you to be able to re-enroll is in April. So it's a great opportunity for you to come back. So depending on how long ago you dropped out, you might be able to just log into your student portal and register for next semester. So if it's only been 1 or 2 semesters since you participated in BYU Idaho Online, you might be able to still register for classes in January. But if it's been longer than that, you will need to re-register, re-enroll. And so you'll need to wait until April to re-enroll. So you'll have the opportunity starting in February to do that, and then classes will start in April.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go back we would love for that. We're going to go back to one question. We had Manuel say, hey, I'm from Mozambique. And then the follow-up question or comment was, how do I get to, these courses? So let's do a quick, how do I enroll? And I'll pull up some URLs for you, Brooke.
Cool. So you're going to go to BYUpathway.edu. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a button that says Apply for Free. That will take you to the admissions page where you can learn a little bit more about BYU Pathway, about the experience that you'll have. And then you're going to want to click on a button that says Apply Now. And that button will allow you to start an application. And then it'll walk you through that process. You'll need to log in using your church account. If you don't have one, that's okay. You don't need to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in order to enroll or to create a church account, but you will need that. We use that as a single sign-on experience. And so you'll log in and then you'll share your contact information, and then you'll take a free English language assessment if English is not your native language. And then that's just to make sure that you're going to be successful in Pathway Connect and beyond. And then you'll answer a few more questions and pick your gathering, and then you'll be able to get started. We still have time to enroll and start classes in January. So make sure that you go and get your application started today.
Awesome. Okay. So we have an accreditation question, Brooke. It just says, are the degrees US accredited? And the answer is yes, they are.
Yes, they sure are.
Okay, so we have a tuition question, Brooke. I'm going to pull this up and then I'm going to grab the URL for the tuition page so that we can share that. Because tuition is different based on where you live. So let's talk a little bit about that and where they can go to find out the tuition in their country.
Yep. So if you go to BYUpathway.edu/tuition is where you can see the cost of tuition in your home country. So here in the United States, if you start with Pathway Connect and participate in Pathway Connect, you're going to be able to get those credits for $81 a credit. If you start with the preferred path with Pathway Connect, if you do the advanced path or starting directly with BYU Idaho or Ensign College, it's $139 a credit, and it doesn't matter where you live. The price is the same no matter where you live in the world. So starting with Pathway Connect is a distinct financial advantage. But there's some people who say, you know what, I don't want to do Pathway Connect, or I'm not worried about finances, or I just want to finish faster. And so people choose to go directly to BYU Idaho or Ensign College. So it's really just a matter of what's going to be best for you. But starting with Pathway Connect does give you an overall tuition discount.
Awesome. Okay. So this was fun because Elizabeth actually answered this or gave some info based on her experience. But Katrina said, hey, is there a way to take a specific math course such as statistics? And Katrina says, hey, I'm about to take a specific course on statistics and research, which is part of my major next year. So yeah, it just kind of builds into like the coursework. So thank you for answering that. I appreciate that. Okay, this question from Emily says, hey, my sister couldn't link her BYU account when she was in Pathway Connect 103. She withdrew because she was a little bit frustrated and couldn't get the help she needed. They're telling her she has to retake 101 and 102. Is this really the case? Sounds like there's a church account disconnect, right, Brooke?
It seems like there might be. So if your sister did 101 and 102 and she got passing grades, she does not need to retake them. If she did not get passing grades, she will need to retake those. But she should be able to log back into her account. So she'll want to go to returningstudents.byupathway.org. And then it should just pick up. And as long as she is able to link her BYU Pathway account that she had, which should be tied to her church account, she should be able to just go in and start with 103 and not retake 101 or 102.
Now,
so
Brooke,
if she's still having
yeah, I was going to say, if somebody's having issues with their church account, we have a couple of, I think we have a couple of URLs to share about how to go get help with that, right? If that's the issue.
Yeah. So if the issue is with the church account, there is account.churchofjesuschrist.org/recovery, where she can go to recover her church account information and get help there. And then if there's still issues or concerns, send us a direct message and we'll do our best to get it over to the right folks to get an answer for her. But she does not need to retake 101 and 102 if she got a passing grade. So she needs a B average in order to go on to BYU Idaho or Ensign College online, though.
Okay, Cecilia says, "Hey, I can't wait to join the BYU family. We're excited to have you too. It's working on your degree is hard. Brooke's working on a master's degree right now, and it's a lot of time and commitment. So we're always impressed when anyone makes that big decision because it's a lot, and we're here to try to support." Okay, we have a question about employment, Brooke. So, hey, does BYU Pathway help students find jobs? I'm going to pull up some LinkedIn resources that we have as you talk about that.
Awesome. Yeah, so we have a couple of different things that we are working on to help students get a better job. And so we have some LinkedIn web pages that we've created. So BYUpathway.edu/LinkedIn is a guide for how to create a really stellar LinkedIn profile and how to use a couple of key phrases. So there's some folks who are really interested in hiring BYU Pathway students. And so there's some instructions on BYUpathway.edu/LinkedIn to learn more. And then we have a career development team that is getting everything into a place where we'll be able to help more students get a job. But that is a really high priority for us, is helping students have jobs while they're in school and be prepared once they graduate. If you are a student that is interested in working, you can go to one of our hiring partners is Bloom. So you can even go to hirebloom.com. And if there's openings available, you can start an application.
Awesome. Hey, Brooke, we have just like a quick little follow-up kind of question to this topic. Hey, when can I start applying for a job, like for Hire Bloom, like while I'm in Pathway Connect 103, like in my first certificate? Is that like a timeline that would work?
Yeah. Absolutely. So you can submit an application during 101, and then they'll work with you to try to make sure that you have whatever skills are necessary for openings that they have. So it's not a guarantee. We are working to try to help make it so that any student who is interested in having employment has that opportunity. But you can start an application with Bloom just as soon as you're starting Pathway Connect 101. So you are absolutely able to go start an application with them.
Awesome. Keep your questions coming. Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, I'd recommend going to BYU-Pathway.edu/LinkedIn, also to work on your LinkedIn resume and profile to see if there's opportunities for networking or employment there as well.
Fabulous. Okay, Brooke and I will be here for maybe 10 more minutes. We're trying to go really quickly here and answer all of the questions. We know you have lots of them and we love answering them. Okay, because I'm an online student as well and an international student, which can be challenging, I have to say thank you for to chat with my help assistant. I've always counted on that for everything. So we're glad that you've been able to find help, Elizabeth. And thank you for being so active in the chat today. It's really helpful.
It's fun.
Okay, so we're going to jump over. We have a few questions over here. We just have a shout out. The courses are amazing. I love the ease and pace of the courses. We love to hear that. We try to be accommodating. We know a lot of you are going to school while you're working and you have family obligations. And so everything is designed with that in mind. Okay, somebody had a question about the advanced path. You kind of mentioned it as you were talking to somebody. What are some of the considerations with that, Brooke, and maybe the 3-year degree that's coming up that you would want to mention?
Yeah. So in order, so if someone wants to skip Pathway Connect and go right into BYU Idaho or Ensign College Online, that is an option right now. And you can, but you will need at least 3 US credits. So you have to have some US accredited credits in order to skip Pathway Connect and go on to BYU Idaho or Ensign College Online directly. The other thing to be aware of is that there's a price difference. So here in the United States, it's $81 US a credit to do BYU Pathway. You can go to BYU-Pathway.edu/tuition to see the pricing in your area. And then that price stays with you when you go to BYU Idaho or Ensign College Online. If you go directly into BYU Idaho or Ensign College Online, you can go, it's going to be $139 US a credit, and it doesn't matter where you live. It will cost that much in order for you per credit to receive your bachelor's or associate's degree or certificate. So you want to make sure, is this a sound financial decision for me? Is this going to be a good time option? And what options are available to me? So it is an option, and it's a great option for some people. We just want to make sure that folks are thinking through all of the implications.
Awesome. That's a great answer, Brooke. Okay, a question about transcripts. Hey, sorry for another question. Don't worry about sorry. We're happy to be here and answer these questions. Yep. When I'm applying, do I need to send in my high school transcript or a college transcript? So I don't think they need to do anything with high school as long as they're over 18, right, Brooke?
Yep. So if you are starting with Pathway Connect, you do not need to provide a high school transcript. So if you go to BYU-Pathway.edu in the upper right-hand corner, you can start for free. And you just have to be over the age of 18. And then if you have transfer credits, you can use the free transfer credit evaluation. So it's just an estimate. So it's not hard and fast, but it'll give you a pretty solid estimate of what classes might transfer. And then after you're enrolled, you can actually go through the process to transfer those credits.
I love it. We're going to try to go through as many of these as we can while we wrap up. So I'm doing the Family and Human Services degree. This course is far more advanced than anything in my country. Yeah, it is challenging and it will push you. And that's part of that US accreditation. It's going to push you and it's going to be a really solid degree with a lot of skills that you've built. So thank you for sharing that. When is the next semester available? So if you're looking to enroll in Pathway Connect, that's still available in most areas. Classes start on the 8th, and there will be a deadline in the next week, I think, Brooke, correct, of when Pathway Connect's no longer available. I'm guessing it's like the 5th or the 6th, something like that.
Yeah, so you still have time. So if you go to BYU-Pathway.edu in the upper right-hand corner, you can start your application to start Pathway Connect on January 8th. So that's available to you. And classes start every January, April, and September. So if you feel like, whoa, January 8th is coming in really fast and I'm not ready, you can absolutely start in April.
Love it. Okay. What are the major courses I can apply to from being outside the US? Well, the cool thing about BYU Pathway is all of the degrees are available to all of our students all over the world. There's 7 of them, right, Brooke? So I'm going to pull
Yep.
up the URL for where they can find out what those degrees are. Brooke can rattle them off. She's like amazing at this. I'm not sure how she does it.
So it's applied business, applied health, communication, human and family relations, information technology, professional studies, and web development. And so there's are great opportunities. So those are the bachelor's degrees available. And then we also have an associate's degree in family history research.
Fabulous. Okay, just a couple more questions as Brooke and I wrap up. We had somebody who said, I want you to be able to speak English, and another person replied. So we do a live, and I'll let Brooke maybe say this in Spanish. She can get her way through. We typically have lives in Spanish on Wednesday, middle of the day here in Utah.
Yeah. So, cada miércoles es una oportunidad de aprender más de BYU-Pathway y English Connect en español a las 11 en la mañana en Utah. Es una gran oportunidad de aprender más y ask preguntas y aprender más. So that's... It's a great opportunity to learn more about BYU-Pathway and English Connect, and it's typically Wednesdays at 11 a.m.
Okay, so we have a question, or maybe more of a comment. I've just been applying for this scholarship. I'm from Liberia, West Africa. If anybody is interested in our scholarships, I'm going to pull up those names real quick, and we're going to rattle them off. We have just a couple of minutes left.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you go to, so after you enroll, but before you pay your tuition is when I recommend you do this, but you can absolutely do it after you've paid tuition. So you're going to go to, in your student portal, there'll be an option for you to learn more about the life of Heber J. Grant. And it's an amazing tuition discount, true tuition discount. So it's not something that has to be paid back after you finish your degree. And you're going to log in. You'll learn a little bit about the life of President Heber J. Grant, who was a president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the early 1900s. And then you'll answer some questions about your life. And then depending on needs, you're going to receive 10, 25, or 50% off your tuition. And it's a great opportunity for you to be able to learn more and to take advantage of that. And that's available for all students, whether you are in Pathway Connect or in an online degree program. The second tuition discount we have is the recently returned missionary tuition discount. So this is good for anyone who has served a full-time mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, whether it was a proselyting or service missionary. You are eligible for this if you've served a full-time mission in the last 5 years. You are eligible for 25% off, and that is good for 5 years after returning home from your mission. And it also stacks with the Heber J. Grant tuition discount. So if you've recently returned home, you're going to be eligible for 35 to 75% off your tuition.
Okay, Brooke, we've got like 4 really great questions left that I want to make sure we get to before we wrap up here in just a second. So this question says, how do I enroll after being accepted? I already have 52 credits from BYU, Idaho. I don't know which classes I need to take to get my associate's degree.
Awesome. So Bianca, after you've been accepted, in your student portal, there should be an option for you to register for classes. So you'll need to log in there, and you'll be able to go in and register for your classes. And then those credits, if you are doing a BYU Idaho associate's degree, those should be already sort of in your student portal and part of your grad plan. So if after you've logged into your system and you've got questions, let us know.
Perfect. We have a LinkedIn question, Brooke. It says, hey, if I have other qualifications, can I include them on my LinkedIn profile or only the BYU Pathway qualifications? No, include everything that you have that is a relevant skill that you've collected in your life. Okay.
If you speak other languages, if you know how to use programs, all of it.
All of them. Okay. Will students who complete all of their credits and graduate have the same, degree as the students on BYU Idaho campus?
Yes. So you are going to have the same options and opportunities available to you. You can even go on campus to graduation if you want to. We were just there a few weeks ago, and we're able to celebrate students who came in from all over the world, which was really, really fun for us to be able to do that. And so we've loved it, and it's been so fun to be able to celebrate students. And so you are receiving the same U.S. accredited degree as someone who's on campus.
Love it. Okay. This question, hey, if I have a degree from Peru, can I transfer those credits to reduce my time? What does that look like, Brooke? Do you know much about international credits?
I don't know enough. I don't. And so I know that there are some options to accept international credits, but I don't know how long it takes or what the process is. And so you'll want to work with an advisor to do that.
Fabulous. Okay, so Brooke and I need to end the live here in just a minute. We're going to run over a few quick things. Let's say classes start on January 8th. So Pathway Connect is still open in most areas, and certificates and degrees going into BYU, Idaho, or Ensign College, that is closed. When does that open up again, Brooke?
Yeah, so it's going to open up in early February. So we'll come on and we'll let you guys know when the applications have opened for BYU, Idaho, and Ensign College online.
And then this is a question we get all the time. Oh, go on. You're fine.
You're good. I just didn't.
So a lot of people ask, like, when will my classes be available? Those usually open up the Saturday before classes start. So that would be the 8th, 7th, 6th, the 5th or the 6th. Those should open up, right? And your classes should start showing up. Okay, this was a great live. So thank you everyone for putting your questions in the chat. Brooke and I will be back multiple times in the next couple of weeks as we sit here to answer questions. And again, there is a live usually on Wednesdays at 11 Mountain Standard Time to answer questions in Spanish. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks.